There are a lot of factors to consider, like square footage, location, size of the yard, etc. Another major factor is whether or not the home has a homeowners association, otherwise called an HOA. A lot of single-family homes, townhomes, and condos in the Chicagoland area do have an HOA. So let's talk about some of the benefits and disadvantages of having an HOA. Okay, so first we're going to talk about some of the benefits that HOAs provide. Definitely amenities. So a lot of HOAs have pools, gyms, parks, and other common areas that they provide and also maintain. And then along that same line is just the common maintenance of the land in the neighborhood. So some things that they might do include taking care of the common grounds like landscaping and snow removal. Another thing an HOA can provide is a community atmosphere. So they typically organize community events and holiday gatherings to help you meet your neighbors and create that sense of community within the neighborhood. Some also do neighborhood watch programs, which could be a good way to keep crime out of your neighborhood. Another thing that they do is they protect home values within that neighborhood. So HOAs typically have standards for the homes that are in the neighborhood and how they need to look. They help with the overall aesthetic of the home, make sure they look cohesive, and they also enforce people to keep their properties well maintained. Okay, now we're going to talk about some disadvantages of having an HOA. So there are often fees, fines, and assessments within an HOA. So there's monthly fees to cover the maintenance, the management costs, and the upkeep of those amenities, like if you have a pool or things like that. Fines are issued if the property is not up to the rules that are in that HOA, and they also can charge assessments to cover any unexpected costs and repairs within the neighborhood. Another disadvantage is exterior restrictions. So the HOA has specific rules that you have to follow on things like color, landscaping design, street parking, lawn decor, renovations, all that good stuff. So if you plan to do any renovations, you typically have to run it through the HOA to make sure that it meets their requirements, and this can sometimes feel restricting to homeowners. Another disadvantage is that there's really no property versatility. So often HOAs have restrictions about long-term and short-term rentals. So if this was an investment property, you wouldn't be able to rent it out in some HOAs. They often don't allow long-term guests, and they do restrict sometimes the size of dogs that you're allowed to have, and also even sometimes the breed. These things can make your home feel less usable than properties that don't have an HOA, so just something to consider. And lastly, another thing that can be a disadvantage is just the way that the rules are interpreted. So if there's a certain person in leadership that interprets the rules one way and enforces them that way, and then someone new comes into the HOA and sees things differently, this can be frustrating and confusing for the homeowners. As you know, choosing a home can be a big decision that shouldn't be taken lightly, so be sure to weigh the pros and cons before you choose a home with an HOA to be sure that it's the right fit for you and your family and the things that you're looking for in a home.